Tips with Toni. Tips with Toni. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Toni. Tips with Toni. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Toni. Woo.
Hello, and welcome to the Tips with Toni podcast. I'm Toni Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. In this next episode, you get to hear from one of my amazing clients, Ash. She lives in Australia, so she's another one of my international clients. I'm going to be releasing more of these, so you get to hear from other people who are probably very much were in your shoes before they decided to invest in their health and wellness and take the time and effort to form healthier habits, and now have come out stronger and wiser and healthier and happier as a result. So if you're someone who's curious or you're on the fence of like what it looks like to work with me, I think that these episodes are going to be super helpful for you when I get to interview some of my clients. So without further ado, here's the interview with Ash.
Hi, Ash. How are you?
Good.
I'm so excited to talk with you. We actually just got off one of our weekly check-ins. So how are you feeling about the week?
I'm excited. Hopefully a bit better than this week. So.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do bad this week, right? You just had a maintenance week and related to stress, which I'm sure we'll talk about today. But you've been doing really well since we started working together. So, to be proud of yourself, regardless of having, not every week is going to be a celebratory, amazing week. We have sometimes that they're pretty steady, but it's at least better than going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Awesome. All right. Well, just tell everyone a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and then we'll jump into the question.
Yeah. So I'm Ash. I'm from Australia. So first international person.
Yes.
And yeah, pretty much me.
I know. Actually, when since then I have one other international client from the UK, and actually I have a discovery call later with someone else from Australia. So you really did start the international way, because for so long I was like, I don't even know how that would work. I didn't know it was possible, but it's totally possible. It's so exciting. So yes, thank you for helping me break into recognizing that I can change more than just the United States, but the actual world. So super exciting. But anyways, all right. So let's deep dive into the question. So what was the main challenge or obstacle you were looking to solve before choosing to work with me?
I think it was around consistency. So for me, that's always been the biggest issue: consistency and accountability. Mm-hmm. And I always had the right intentions. It was just sticking to it and continuing to do that, even, if it wasn't the easiest option.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you've probably been one of my most consistent clients since working together. So I think that's really cool that that's what your biggest struggle was. And now it's kind of like a cakewalk for you. So that's really awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. So what wasn't working on your own?
Probably the accountability part. So yeah, there was no one there kind of saying, oh, hey, is that the best choice you could be making? Because you can talk yourself into anything. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been really good just to have someone checking in and to just remind you of what your goals are and keep you on track.
Totally. Yeah, and I think that's a normal human behavior. Is we say we want to do something, but then we get caught up with life. We have so many things going on. It's helpful to have someone to remind you of what you're doing. So that's really, really great. And so what did we implement that was different than what you have maybe done before? And when did you realize that?
So I think there's been a few things, but the biggest game change has been obviously the gluten free. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd been struggling with bloating and just general discomfort, and I always just attributed it to being normal. Like I didn't realise that's not what you should feel like all the time. So yeah, trialing to cut that out, which I think we only did once I started actually getting like more of the physical symptoms of it. But that's been an absolute game changer for me. Like I've just felt better in general. My weight started moving in the right direction, and even though it sounds hard, it hasn't been that hard to stick to, which I thought it was going to be at first because I love bread and pasta. And yeah, it hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I think the focus on the mindfulness stuff as well, I didn't think of that as something that I would include as part of healthy eating or better eating habits, but I think it contributes overall to your attitude towards it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we first started working together, we noticed like you weren't feeling well and the weight was moving, but it really kind of wasn't moving with all the effort you were putting in. And so we experimented together on going gluten-free, and for you, it really worked. Your symptoms relieved, you were less bloated. The weight started coming off probably because it was mostly related to inflammation. And like you said, the mindfulness was something that benefited you. And I like that you said that you didn't know that that was important or helpful, but it is, right? So can you just speak a little bit more on that? This is kind of going off script a bit, but what particularly with the mindfulness exercises were effective for you?
The journaling has been a really good one. Just I never realized how much stuff that I was like, I know I overthink things, but there was probably a lot of stuff that I was just it was just getting stuck in my head, and that was making it hard to focus on other things, and it was just drawing my attention away. And I think just overall that's helped not to have that extra stress and not to add to everything else that's going on. Just those little things that you can do to make every day a little bit easier.
Totally. Yeah. So great. So great. So what was the outcome that we achieved together that you're the most proud of?
Ooh. I think for me it's been that consistency part. Like that's always something where I would be doing so well, and then I'd have one bad day and it would just ruin everything. Whereas now I'm like, even if I go a little off track, I don't feel as bad about it, and I can easily get back on track, which has been really good. And in the past, I haven't done that. Like I've gone through phases of, I'm doing really well, and then I'll just completely bottom out. So it's been good to actually know that I can do it consistently and still like not feel like I'm restricting anything.
I love that. Yes. That's the ultimate goal for everyone listening in the world. I hope that's what you accomplish in your life. Like consistently just feeling healthy. If you go a little off, you get right back on track. You don't go, it's not like a big up and down thing. I think that's a big misconception a lot of people have is they're like, oh, I went off track, I'll just get right back on. I went off track, I'll just get right back on. And it's like constantly doing that. And there's extremes are too much. That really they're just staying here, right? But if you're like consistently making effort and then maybe go off a little bit, but consistently making effort, eventually you're going to get to your goal a lot faster than doing that like big all in, all out sort of approach.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I always like to ask people this because, joining a nutrition coaching program is a financial investment. It takes a lot of time and energy. And unfortunately, in the nutrition world, there is a lot of BS out there. And so I always like to ask people, like, were you skeptical to work with me at first? And for those out there that might be skeptic, what would you really say to them?
Yeah, I think I could see I could justify the investment. Like for me, it was about, no, I know I need to do this. And, I've followed your podcasts and your Instagram and all that for ages, and I really believed in what you say and everything. And for me, we clicked straight away. So I found that really easy to feel more comfortable about going into working with you anyway. So yeah, I could justify it because I was like, well, this is an investment in myself, and it's 6 months, you put in all the effort, but it's going to change it for life. It's not just well, it's 6 months and that's a lot of money and it's not like I'm not going to do anything with it. It's to create those habits to go forward and you're going to get a lot more value out of that.
100%.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who is interested in joining my program?
100% do it. It's been amazing for me, and I tell everyone about it. For me, it's been really, really helpful. And it's not something that a lot of people are instantly like, oh, you do that. But for me, that's been the best part. Is just it's a different approach. Like obviously, a web-based thing's a bit different, but it's just been really good to know that you've got someone there, and it makes it really easy. And yeah.
And you make my job, you do it from the comfort of your home, right? I think that's the best for both of us.
I don't have to do anything.
And then again, I would love to go to Australia, not going to lie. So
feel free.
One day, I think the plane ride would be like a lot of hours. But anyways, it is really true. And also you make my job a whole lot easier. You're a delight to work with. You have guidelines and you take action, and that's how results get made, right?
Yeah.
So really, really proud of you. Thank you so much. And is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's all.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Thanks so much, Ash.
No worries.
Wow, isn't she amazing? I think anybody that chooses to invest in their health and wellness and really understands the value of putting themselves first to benefit their future is someone that I can totally relate to. Another thing that Ash said is she said, when we got on the call together, we totally clicked. And I think that's super important. So if any of you are wondering, what it would look like to work with me, you're interested, you're just not sure if you want to do it, don't worry. We don't have to figure that out right away. I'm actually very selective of who I decide to onboard into my program. So what you should do from now is just go to www.tipswithtoni.com/coaching. There's other testimonials there from other of my clients. You can hear their stories. Let me know which one you resonate with the most. And then from there, if there's something other than what maybe Ash said, if you see something somebody else on there said, and you feel like, that is so me and I can totally benefit from working with Toni, aka me, then go to fill out the application. It'll take you all of 5-10 minutes, not even, literally, usually it takes most people 5 minutes to fill out the application. From there, we'll schedule a discovery call, which is basically like a 45-minute to an hour phone call of us really deep diving into those questions and really uncovering why it is that you have these goals set for yourself, why it's important to you, what's going to motivate you to go forward, and what do you really need from a nutrition coaching program to be successful. If from there I believe that you're a good fit, I'll invite you to the program. Prior to that, you'll get a video. You'll learn more about what I do and how I can help you. And like I said, if I truly believe that we will be a good fit, I will invite you. I do not take anybody. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. I really want that person who's ready, who's invested, who understands that this is a lifestyle change. Okay, it's a 6-month commitment, so only serious applications only, please. However, if you are serious, I look so forward to reading that application, getting on a call with you, and getting to know you better. Thanks so much for listening. As always, this is Toni Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.